Hello YouTube, Drake Clawfang here. I just got done redoing Flash Sentry scenario. Turns out that I made a save state from just before I fought the Magitech armor enemy at the start of Flash's scenario. So when I loaded a save state to go into the scenario to test a thing with Cadence's runic skill, I reset my entire progress. So I just had to rush through Flash's scenario again. Fun times. Anyway, now going on to Luna's scenario. I'd say Luna is best princess, but we all know Absol is best princess. In the original game, this guy was a green Imperial soldier sprite, which confused me, why is a merchant dressed like this? But I did come to realize it after getting into the hacking of the game. Because there's only so many sprites that have a full range of movement emotions, like the party members in Discord and that. And one of the few of those is the Imperials. So that's why I think the Imperials and Merchants were used as generic sprites in some places. This guy, we'll come back to this guy. So the one interesting side effect of that is that the generic guard sprites, that the one that this merchant uses and that the Fort Appaloosa soldiers use and the Nash guards use and all that, it had to be hacked into the game. Basically I find the pointer for where it looks for sprite. I think it's sprite 52 or 53. Anyway, so I had to tell the game, okay, when you look at this part for the sprite data, look at this spot instead, and I hacked in a full range of emotions for them. And it was so long ago, doing beta, I don't even remember how I did that. But yeah. Fun times. There's so much I've done during it. You figure it's been in development 2 full years. There's so much I've done with it I don't even remember. Sometimes I've had to retrace my steps to remind myself, how did I do this? Because I just don't remember. It did occur to me as I was playing through Flash's scenario so I could get to this, that the 3 scenarios almost serve kind of like a tutorial type for you to understand how the different types of enemies are going to work. You play through Twilight, Zecora, and Celestia, and you get a couple unicorn party members that show you, okay, the unicorns have superior magic power and magic. Oh, come on! Play through Flash's scenario where you recruit Cadence, and you get a hint of the Pegasi with the speedy moves and the spears, long range and that. And then you come to Luna's scenario where Luna's inclined towards Earth Pony stuff, and recruit Applejack, and get a taste of what the Earth Ponies are like with the claws and counterattacking and high physical stats and physical attacks. Which actually all comes together in Niche, where you have to start forming balanced parties for the first time, and then after that you get access to really purchasing your first species-specific equipment like a spear and a rod and claw for your different pony types and that. Didn't intend it on purpose, but it works, I think. It creates a nice theme of the 3 pony races, and even sort of the 3 princesses having their focus split up between the scenarios, with Cadence, Celestia, and Luna. Funny how things fall into place is all I'm saying. Another comment there, Zecora has a claw, because I assume, well, if she does have an equipment draw, it'd be mostly Earth Ponies, so we'll make a line with an Earth Pony. Okay. And now I'm just save stating just in case, because I don't want to use save states to just, save scum my way through things, but I don't want to accidentally load it and lose my progress so far. Really, I should just delete my save state so that doesn't happen. Or at least back up my save data. I'll do that after. So the one thing headcanon I have here is that, you know, I do hint at it with other NPC dialogue, but like not all of Sombra's soldiers are mind controlled. Some are loyal, but some are mind controlled. So you get some like these guys that are normal, and then you have that guy just patrolling mindlessly, not doing a damn thing. And here comes the third Imperial soldier swap. The darker armor is for the commanders. And once again, because of palette limitations, they don't have the green eyes and red crest like normal. But, you know, I'm making do with what I got. It still works. You can still tell, like, this guy's definitely Imperial. You know what, he gets the purple eyes and crest because, you know, purple is sort of like Sombra's secondary color, sort of. Maybe. Sure. And here she comes. The Cowboy Samurai. I can't remember like what the other suggestion was, but someone said like, why Applejack for Cyan? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Funky accent, proudly steeped in tradition, doesn't get along well with machines, has a dead family. Cyan is Applejack, and Applejack is Cyan. And this is like really where we come up on the I'm a heartless bastard part of the hack. This and a moment with Scootaloo and that guy later in the game. It's like, okay, time to punch the nerve chords. Let's get into a generic fight first. The big change I made with Cyan in this hack, Sword Tech charges way faster. And that was something like came back to a lot, like how fast do I want to make it? You know, if it's actually too fast, it's a problem because how do you select the proper skill then? But on the other hand, you know, if it's not fast enough, then, you know, at that point it's not that much of a balance buff. There's one Sword Tech patch that I looked at a couple times, and apparently as Cyan's level increases and or as he learns Sword Tech skills, I forget which, but the charge time will increase as he does that. I considered keeping that, but decided, nah. You know, I couldn't get it to work for one thing, but I thought, you know, no, just static speed. That was another minor change with the Runic update. Now, empty is replaced with Bear Hoof. So this is a mini-boss fight, you know, you only have one party member. And something else I did is I renamed the Sword Tech things to just more straightforward. Grav Sword or Gravity Sword is a recurring attack in the series that it's basically like a spell blade version of the Gravity or Demi spell. Cuts HP in half, so seemed a good pick for Slash. Second one is just counter, first one is just critical. The other ones I'll cover now. It's the four hit one is Sword Dance, and its powered up form at level 7 is Blade Dance. Level 5 I think is still Dragon Sword, pretty sure. Level 6 is Sword Rain, or Blade Flurry. I can't remember now, but it's something like that. And number 8 is, well, it has to be Zantetsuken, because of course. Every time I play this game I forget which one you hit to avoid the fight. I think, let's try kick. Nope. The one, I don't know, like really, what's the difference? Hit it or kick it? It's the same difference. Oh, I buffed these guys a lot. He took a hoof pummel. Didn't go down. That's something I did do with Flesheye. In the original game, Shadow just called Interceptor to tackle enemies. But if Flesheye has multiple animals, she should summon multiple ones. So the various animations for some of Mog's dances include calling down a cockatrice and calling in a brigade of moles or rats or something. So I made those Fluttershy's counterattacks, so it's like she's summoning her animals to attack. Another change I made, sure, you can have that, is the Memento Ring. Parents' love protects against fatal magic attacks. And this I made it accessible to many more party members, usable by Twilight, Applejack, and Fluttershy because of dead parents. But I gave it to Fluttershy starting off because, as we'll get into her dreams later, you'll see that it has something to do with those. I actually had developed a theory in the original game that the Memento Ring is a wedding ring, because Realm has one, and Shadow has one, and shortly after rescuing the party, including Realm from the burning house, he just leaves his ring on the counter. You know, so if you think that it's his wedding ring from Realm's mother, you know, that makes sense. But then there's a third Memento Ring that you can get by stealing from Rexall and Cyan's soul. And that whole dungeon is about Cyan and his family and that, so maybe, you know, symbolizing that. It's just a theory, but I think it adds some interesting stuff. And there's Shining Armor. I remember my first Shining Armor sprite looked terrible. It was just the Pony Fantasy VI soldier sprite recolored with Shining Armor's color scheme. Rattle Fox redesigned him, and thank God he looks like Shining Armor there. He's not just the white pony and a purple helmet. A lot of people have strong opinions on Shining Armor being General Leo, and I'm not gonna pretend I don't understand why. You know, it is a interesting casting choice. I mean, I did try, and then General Leo doesn't have a lot of scenes, so I could only tell so much story with him. The one headcanon I had is that when there's that Shining Armor, I try to work this into his scene with Terror Twilight on the boat later in the game, that Shining Armor didn't know that Cadence was set to be executed. You know, he knew that, you know, she was being detained, but he didn't know that she was going to be executed. And then when Cadence returned to the Empire and told him, and with the support of Hope, you know, they turned on Sombra, and Sombra's realizing, okay, this is Empire thing, I can't keep this up if these three are all against me now. So that's when Sombra decided, okay, gonna make a personal play for power with the Founders in Discord. Right now I'm just thinking of that scene in Season 4 where Discord trolls Shining Armor and plays with the soldiers and helmet. By the way, whatever happened to that command soldier that went into Shining Armor's tent? He's gone now. And now Fluttershy versus Discord. How appropriate. Luna just beat the crap out of him. I was gonna do a joke, but I have to check something before I do the joke. So we'll save that for the second fight. Oh, really? Okay, I was gonna use Moon Launch on him and send Discord to the moon, but I guess I can't do that. And yeah, that soldier just walked into this tent and vanished into the aether. So now we have to do all this stuff before we pursue Discord too far, or else we can't do it. Vital Fox again, redesigning the mag palette here to add, because those are not sprites, those are part of the background there, like the crates or the tent. So Vital Fox had to hack that and modify that directly. That's what I mean when I really consider him like a co-creator instead of just a graphics designer, because so much of his graphics design did involve like direct programming in order to, and allowed for me to make story changes to accommodate them. Okay, I forgot you counter that. Luna has turned into a Spike. I think that's one of the funniest things I had. Like, Spike is sort of playable, kinda-ish. You know, you can control him in one thing and you can transform party members into him. Change of pace, Moonblast, good. Didn't do it on the satellite. Good, Luna. Good pony. And yes, Telstar is just a really mangled translation of satellite, of course. Turtle Z did some good work, and some not so good work. Also had a lot of fun balancing Fluttershy's Shuriken and Throw too, because, you know, there's only so many tiers of throwing weapons she can have. You know, I don't want to waste items, valuable item slots, because you can only put so many items in the game. At least as far as I know you can. So, and I didn't want to waste them expanding her arsenal or throwing weapons too much, so I think, if I remember correctly, what I did for 2.0 is I just changed the modifiers on throwing weapons, the damage modifiers on them, how much of a boost they actually get. So I think they don't, what it is they don't ignore defense anymore, but they do get like a multiplier to their battle power, so that works. You know, it's still pretty strong, but not overpowered. And for our trouble there, we got the reinforced bit, and which boosts HP. You'll see Luna has 230, now up to 260. This is one of the first pieces of Earth Pony exclusive equipment that you can acquire, and there'll be others just later on in the hack. Well, actually, I already got one now, the Claw, but yeah. Oh yes, and before I forget, this. I've played through Final Fantasy VI several times over the years. I had no idea that was a thing until I saw GW Softcore Brony do it. I can't believe I've played through this game how many times that I never knew about that. So yeah, that's a thing. That's the thing that delights me about replaying old games and finding things I didn't know about. I just love that, you know. You really appreciate like that's something that most players might not even think to try and do. Hop off the ledge. Because you can't do that anywhere else, but the developers included, so you know, it's like it's rewards exploring and all that. Oh, come on. Take out the rank and file troopers first. Those are some strong counterattacks. I think like with her counterattacks plus with all the Pegasi stuff that boosts evasion and jumping, Fluttershy is probably one of the most evasive characters. Like, really hard time pinning her down with physical attacks, I think. And another one. There's the second one, Talon Rake. I believe that's the weaker of the two. And here we go. This is another criticism of the hack that I can I can understand. Discord is way more vicious and bloodthirsty than he is in the canon. And again, I get that, but you know, that's kind of like goes hand in hand with Kefka, I think. And I think Discord really is the best fit for Kefka. People have suggested Tyrek in place of Discord, but this thing now that could work. Someone suggesting, you know, maybe Tyrek could have multiple field sprites as he gains power and that, and it does work for the whole absorbing magic story angle. The catch I have is that Tyrek is a far more serious villain than Discord, you know, and I think that the whole point of Discord and Sombra, or Kefka and Gestahl if you prefer, is that the latter is a more straight traditional villain, while Kefka is the eccentric, crazy, funny flunky. So, you know, it's like a bait and switch. You're expecting Gestahl to be the main villain of the game with Kefka as his right hand, but nope, it turns out Kefka is the villain. So I think that Kefka works better as a contrast to Gestahl, Tyrek not so much. And Sheriff Silverstar, as best as can be depicted with a static sprite, you can't really see it too well because it kind of blends into the stairs, but he does have his mustache. So yeah, that's Sheriff Silverstar. But yeah, so no, I think that Discord just works as Kefka. Tyrek could work too in some different ways, but as a whole, I think Discord works better. And now we first let's get some items. Zebra potion. Yeah. And this is scene. This is what I mean, where, like, in my opinion, none of the look-down sprites of the cast really look right because of the muzzles. You know, it's just hard to convey that without it looking a little funny, I think. Here we go! I am a heartless bastard. I remember the first guy to do a commentated LP of this game was DM Pwn 3000, and when he got opened it, he's like talking like, I think I remember, didn't Apple Science family die or something? And he just walks in and sees the space. He's like, oh shit. Yeah, we went here. Granny and Big Mac, they dead. Me personally, I was wondering while all that was going on, what were Luna and Fluttershy doing? I guess maybe they were pursuing Discord since they came from down here where Discord was, but yeah, I figure like some time has had to pass, you know, and this goes back to the original game too. You know, like, it's not like Kefka just, you know, dumped poison in the water and suddenly everyone in the castle died. Like, you know, like, time had to pass for everyone to have a drink of the water. So really, I would give it like, at bare minimum, a couple of hours for the time to poison to flow downstream and be drank by the castle and all that. I'm also curious, like, whatever happened to that lone Appaloosan soldier. An idea, you know, maybe someday, like, well, not someday, like, maybe I'll think of something to do with him, like he appears in the World of Ruin or something, and you can talk to him as Applejack, or like he appears in the ruins of the fortress in the World of Ruin or something, and maybe has some dialogue. We'll see, maybe I'll think of something. It'd be a very, very minor thing to add, but just like little touches. That's one thing I enjoy doing, is just little touches like that make the hack a bit more original. And third time is a charm. Now Applejack officially joins us. Well, she will after this fight, anyway. I know a lot of people have, like, distaste for Applejack because she's kind of like a more boring character. And she kind of is, you know, like, Pinkie Pie is the quirky one, Rarity is the histrionics, Fluttershy is shy and meek, Pinkie is just Pinkie. So, you know, the other main members of the main six, you kind of have this shtick that you can use to milk humor or character from them. Applejack, not so much. Applejack, they play her more seriously. You know, when she does get centric episodes that they're not very good, like Applejack's Day Off. Here we go. I don't know how y'all like to imagine, you know, that's the Simple Ways Rarity voice coming from Tabitha there. Yeah, the other thing I think with Applejack, it just always kind of bugged me even when I first got into the show is, you know, like those trials they pass when they earn the elements of harmony. You know, for most of them, like, most of them make sense. Pinkie teaches the group not to be afraid. Rainbow Dash, like, proves her loyalty to the group and doesn't betray them for her dream. And Fluttershy, you know, don't be afraid of the vicious monster. We can help him. And why don't I just use items to heal them? But anyway, so... But then you come to... oh, and Rarity, you know, sacrifices her own beauty and vanity to help another. So, you know, those are all good trials. What's Applejack's thing? Twilight's gonna fall, and Applejack says, trust me, I'm gonna let you go, or let go. Just tell her there's someone there to catch her. You know? Like, I think it would have been more impressive if Applejack had said, you know, let go, because she has a plan that once Twilight lets her go, Applejack can do something that will save her. You know? But even then, you know, explain yourself. And here we have a little mini-boss, and this is once again plays into the problem I mentioned at the start with the crystal armor and the enemies, the sprites can only be so wide. So the Imperial enemies that would normally attack at this point, I couldn't use them. So I figured, you know what, this guy, he's only fought one other time in the game as a normal enemy during the Imperial Banquet, so I'm like, you know what, let's put him in here. You have access to the crystal armor and all its superpowered attacks. We'll put this guy in here and he can be a little mini-boss. And it's not difficult at all. You got the crystal armor. And you know, he can tank a couple hits. He puts up a fight at least. Let's freeze him. And there he goes. Do-do-do. That is one thing that kind of bugged me in the original FF62 is, you know, Sabin says, you know, I've got to get to Nosh, and he spends his whole scenario traveling away from Noth. Like Nosh, if you look at the map down there, Nosh is the dot in the upper center of the map, and Sabin's scenario takes him directly southeast of it. Just to show you what's become of Fort Appaloosa here. Now, that being said, it does make sense why Sabin has to travel south, because the passage to Nosh is blocked by a landslide. And later in the game, the landslide is clear and you can actually walk from Nosh over to where Sabin's scenario takes place. But you can't do that here. But then the flip side of that is, how does Sabin know he can get passage? For, you know, because he couldn't possibly know about the diving helmet. And the Serpent Trench, you know, if he, at least I'm pretty sure he doesn't know. If they know it's never established, but you know, he just does that and hops in the Serpent Trench, which takes him up to Kolingen, and there he can book a ferry. And again, this is something that's easily solvable with dialogue, you know, like have someone mention, you know, maybe the Darmans or the people of Mobliz can help you out. That's some very lame dialogue. And yeah, we can't get in until much later in the game. Not that there's a lot to do here until the World of Ruin. I'm doing Moan Bolt instead of Hoof Rush, mostly just because that'll change things up a bit. I am finding that Hoof Rush is a little easier to execute though. You know, just 2 commands instead of 1. The other one is XXYA. You have to hold the YY push A, so you know. On a Super Nintendo, the controller I have plugged in is modeled after the PS2 controller, or PS1 controller rather. No, it's doable, but it's still a little awkward on your thumb. Doesn't because it matters, at least it won't matter until the next dungeon. Now I'm just gonna delete my save state and back up my save data. No, I don't want to get into it, ruin anything. Uh-oh, Luna's angry! And Applejack's weak! The thing that did kind of like bug me about Sabin Scenario 2 is that, you know, Locke gets Celes, and you have Terra and Terra and Bannon, and the other one. Sabin Scenario has no healers, you know. Wait up until you get Gownie, and then you have to figure out his wages for that. But he has no healers, when his scenario is definitely the longest and arguably the hardest. You know, he fights multiple bosses and mini-bosses. So, yeah. What is this? Probably a glitch with the enemy molds again. Hey, when that happens. That's another thing, again, the molds are like, tells the game, like, how big the enemy is. So, like, the original Ghost Sprites, they were, like, smaller. Rydell's new Ghost Sprites are much larger. So I had to go through every enemy formation that features the Ghost and change the molds around to allow them to appear properly. Because the sprites are much larger, and you killed Fluttershy, you son of a bitch. Busy talking and explaining things here, I'm not fighting properly. Also, I don't know why can't I not drink from this side? That's just weird. And then especially, I think this part of Sabin Scenario is really hard because the enemies on Phantom Train have magic attacks. Like you've seen, like the ghosts have fire, the bomb enemies up there have blaze, and they can actually hurt, but you don't have a healer. And this is the scenario where, really, more than the others, you need access to a healer with Cure to deal with group magic attacks the enemies have. And there we go, we got Moon Launch. Just in time for the Phantom Train, how glorious. I won't use it yet. No, we're gonna save it. Though I do have to look up the commands for it. Yeah, I actually should look up the commands and practice using it. Come on. Do, 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 do. Down Y, down, down Y. Send it to the moon. Which actually makes sense now, Appaloosa's trains. You know, like, if Dharma is supposed to be so steeped in tradition and technologically backwards, at least as defined by Cyan, why would Dharma have trains? You know? And especially because you don't see trains anywhere else in the world. There are no trains in FF6. So why would Dharma be the one place to have them if there are trains? Dharma's about the last place that should have them. That's another major reason I'd like to see FF6 remade, because there are a lot of minor plot holes and snags and snarls that could be resolved by someone remaking the game and paying attention, and just some minor dialogue tweaks, you know? Like, what I would do particularly is, if there's gonna be trains, have trains on the southern continent with the Empire, and like have the towns with stations that you can pay to ride trains between towns. That works just fine, you know? Luna's cutie mark. And yes, this is intended to be Dr. Hooves as the conductor of the Phantom train, just because. What does the switch do anyway? And I have to stop the recording, I'll be right back. And we're back now. So yeah, like, what does the switch do? As far as I can tell, it does nothing. But yeah. Like, I do like that kind of, like, subtlety, like, maybe the Dominant's lost because, you know, the Empire has machines and they just couldn't compete. And now let's recruit. These guys use the same sprite from the original Final Fantasy VI, just modified to remove a color, so they look a bit less defined. Anyway, that pause was to get my lunch. So, I'm not gonna be eating while I'm doing the recording. Really, I should just stop it, but yeah. Lunchtime, an opportune time to record an LP pod. So now let's start our way through the train, and now all these ghosts have appeared. And once again, you know, the big ghosts were based on the spirit of Hearth's warming past. And Applejack, these ones are obviously based on future with Luna. Pardon me. I don't know if, like, Rydell ever mentioned maybe doing a Spirit of Hearthwarming's present spirit for the Whisper. That'd be kind of cool. Rydell, if you're watching this, get on that, man. I'm joking, nah. I don't bug Rydell Fox anymore, unless I really, really have to, you know. Dude's got his own thing, moving on to other things. Ouch. That I remember I added to this hack, you know. If we're gonna make this group magic a thing, you know, give them a minor move. Why are ghosts selling items? Like, okay, I'll buy that they have these items left over from life. Why are they selling them? What do you need money for in the afterlife? I don't know. Right, and this is I forgot to show off. Applejack's katana all come with the two-hand ability of the gauntlet built into them. So if you want, you can forego a shield with her katana and get a hefty power boost. It's up to you. Or you could just ignore that and equip the shield normally. So yeah, so it's up to you. Just, you know, players have options. That's one thing I wanted to do with this. Come on, let me out! The hack is not to force players to play a certain way or do a certain thing. Allow players to strategize and have options and all that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I left you for last for a reason, tough guy. I learned my lesson from the first fight. That was weird. Ghost. Though, really, it's actually rather appropriate, the idea of a ghost walking right through us. And just move. You know, I wish they would, like, make, if they do remake FF6, I hope they make the Phantom Train just 3 tiles long, so you can get through it easier. But why do enemies keep turning Luna into a dragon? Why? What is their obsession with turning her into Spike? I don't get it. Alright, and next well, no, I know who my practice opponent will be for Moon launch. Can I just take a step? Seriously. Do 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 do. Ow. Also, contrary to what it might think, Zap is actually a physical attack. The enemies all get one, like, this attack designated as special attack that's unique to them that can be customized in various ways. And one of the animations for it, but not available to normal spells, unfortunately, is that single white lightning bolt. So Zap is actually a physical attack. Of course. And don't target Moonbolt at the weakened. You target Moonbolt at the weakened one. Okay, Ghost could have finished him off there, so that was a complete waste. Bravo, Luna. Do 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 do. I like this idea that, you know, after a couple calls, the ghosts realize someone's here that doesn't belong. Nowhere to run. And here we go. I had to include this. Originally I said I'm not sure I can carry all of you, but I had to say carry the weight, because there's a chance you can play through Luna's scenario without Fluttershy and without recruiting Ghosts. So there's a chance that you'll get here and it's just Luna and Applejack. No! you can't, unfortunately cannot go in there. And it is weird because it's the only car with the wide open bottom like that, which is interesting to me. And of course the ghosts, you know, just followed you because they're ghosts. So, an interesting theory came to me. I read an interesting theory, or like, anyway, there's a theory, is my point. I don't know if I came up with it or saw it somewhere. That's how Rexall is created. The theory goes that the ghosts on the train up until this point are more people that were killed in the Empire Daman War. And we just attach those train cars, so it follows that if this train ferries the departed to the other side, without that, those train cars, they're left here. You know, like lost souls wandering the world. And Rexall, when you, is mentioned to be a demon formed from the spirits of soldiers slain in war. So, and they seem to specifically target Cyan. So, you know, I think it follows that, you know, those souls that get left behind by this on this train here might be what forms into Rexall, and they target Cyan in revenge when he comes to Dama later. Just a thought. This is another thing though, like I do find odd, like the Phantom train is just here in the middle of the Phantom Forest, and anyone could just stumble upon it apparently. Again, magic isn't supposed to exist, but we could casually stumble across this kind of stuff. Okay, getting bored. Don't you dare— okay, don't kill Luna, don't kill Luna. Luna has to blast you with moonlight. And yes, Luna, if you haven't noticed, Luna still has her shouting spell sprite from Pony Fantasy VI as her casting sprite. That's one thing that kind of disappoints me is in the show Luna's gone kind of boring, honestly. Like, she has the potential for good character growth. You know, Princesses Dream of Magic Sheep, I think, is a standout episode of the franchise and of Season 5. But yet that's the kind of episode where, like, shouldn't we have had this kind of episode back in Season 2 or 3 when Luna was freshly released and restored, you know? But I think, like, in the show she's kind of developed into just the same, like, Celestia 2.0 thing. And there are some differences, but she gets kind of just like the same wise mentor figure that Celestia is now. Your princess demands food! Bring her your finest dish and be quick of it! And, like, that's funny, you know, like, stuff like Luna having the Royal Canterlot voice, that's funny. You know, that's why the comics, as far as at least the characterization of Luna goes, are way better, because they let her keep the Canterlot voice as, like, a verbal tick, or, like, when she gets stressed or upset or excited, she slips back into it. And she's much more excitable and temperamental than Celestia. Luna's a messy eater. But once again, like, yeah, like, do we really want to eat this stuff? And you can see various scenes here, depending on who sits at the table. Then you go over and you're like, wait, where did they get this food from? Like, really? But I'm gonna eat it anyway. Hey, I'll have flapjacks for dinner. Sure, I'll eat what a ghost serves. And one more. Well, two more. Fluttershy's led to an interesting visual thing that you'll soon see. So here, when Angel Bunny comes out, it looks like he's sitting on the table. And I think that's just a quirk of the sprite, like that was not intentional. I didn't modify this event in any way. I think it's just like how Angel's sprite is positioned on the sprite, like, tiles. It makes it look like he's sitting on the table. And one more. I knew of the various scenes, but I'd never seen the ghost scene until I saw someone do it during an LP of this hack. I'm really showing off my extensive knowledge of Final Fantasy VI, talking about how much stuff I don't know that other LPs have shown me. And you get a little dance. Make a little dance. Chew a little food. Get dead tonight. Get dead tonight. Oh, okay, that's enough. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's go. Put Luna back in the lead. Best princess. Well, second best after Absol, of course. And we're just gonna duck into the back here and get another jeweled ring. Real effective in this scenario before because, you know, it powered up Luna's magical blitzes. This hack, not so much, because everyone here is a physical brawler now. But, you know, they'll be useful later when we get back to our unicorns and Pegasus aligning Alicorn that still has magic because reasons. Yeah, that used to be a lore that Rarity could learn, now it's just a normal attack. I tried to make it multi-target, but unfortunately that doesn't work because its animation just isn't scripted to work display on multiple targets. So like, it'll hit the entire party, but the animation will only play over one character. And here we go. Trixie! As Siegfried, because isn't that just perfect? So be it! Watch in awe! And originally Siegfried just unleashed 8 attacks, then in one version of this hack, Trixie triple cast Fire, Ice, and Bolt on you. Took that out because she's supposed to be a joke. I didn't want her actually hurting anyone. Now she has her exclusive fireworks attack. Excuse me. Okay, Luna. Down, Y, down, Y. Send her to them. Okay. We're not gonna send Trixie to the moon. We can't send Trixie to the moon. Never mind. We're just gonna throw ninja stars in her eye like Kenny. Well, that was a fail all around. Unfortunately, the ghosts up here sell you items or join your party. Up here, there's this. And that. Originally, this is another one of those impossible to get items because it was right on the tile where I'm standing now, and you can see that there's no way to face it. FF6 is a game where even if you just tap the controller, you move. There's no way to face that tile, to get in a position to face that tile. So I just moved the item a bit and relocated it, so people can get it now. And the Gale Band is a Pegasus exclusive relic. It increases the odds of a preemptive strike and gives a speed boost. Fluttershy won't be along much longer, but we'll give it to her. Why not? Fury Band is one of those relics I kept trying to think of what I can do with it, because honestly I personally think it's kind of useless. So like I kept asking like what other relic could I put in that item slot, because that's an item slot that I could use. Oh yeah, so we meet these guys before we end this. Still going. Nothing beats the Energizer battery. Oh. Turn yourself back normal. Good thing we got another fire move from Trixie. I don't want to run out. No. Ah. I think that's an oddity enemy. Like you have these other enemies around here that are like demons, and then you have the still going. Nothing in here? Huh. Okie dokie. And up here we have the only reason worth keeping the ghost alive through the whole train. Man at Monobangle, coffee, monster in a box. This is actually a fairly decent mini box, has a pretty powerful lightning attack, and it casts ice. Well, never mind then! You know what, I'm upset I couldn't do it to Trixie. I'm sending you to the moon. To the moon! Ah, I feel better now. Actually not too bad, like he killed the ghost, but that's... oh, there it comes. Ow. And he's dead. True Form Pin. Name borrowed from Super Mario RPG, in my opinion a vastly underrated and underexposed. It's a Mario game, yeah, but like, if you've ever played it, you know it's a Final Fantasy game in practice. This one... This protects you against Dragon and Petrify, and is a universal relic, with nothing particular about it besides the status. But yeah, Super Mario RPG, if you've ever played it, it's a Mario game and it stars Mario characters, takes place in a Mario land, but it's a Final Fantasy game. You're fighting elemental villains themed after weapons. You know, the star pieces are the crystals, the magical MacGuffins that you need to find and restore to save the world. It's a Final Fantasy, and you know, you got your black mage, your white mage, your attacker, your monk, your gunner. It's a Mario game in practice, really. Do I want to do... That's an interesting effect with Luna standing on it. Looks like her hair is flickering. Sure, let's fight the train now. Run. No. Oh good, did I give her the True Form Pin? You know, that thing would have been real helpful earlier in the dungeon, actually. Protects against Dragon. That's been a recurring problem for Luna, this whole damn dungeon. And now it's time to fight the demonic Friendship Express. So I did tweak the Phantom Train script a little bit. I think I took out Ruby from its script and I gave it a Venom Mist or Poison Mist. So in tandem with blanking on it. Acid Rain. It's kind of like the status thing. It can inflict poison and seizure and all that. You know, Wheel is a counterattack used by a lot of enemies. I remember the Mag Roaders use it too. I'm pretty sure some other enemies use it. And it's one of those things where, like, I wonder, like, why do developers choose to make it a special attack animation instead of just an enemy spell, like something like explosion or something, you know? I don't want to kill it before I do it. Oh, come on. No one else gets to attack. I don't want to kill it by accident before I do it. Here we go! To the moon! That killed it! That's perfect. Well, that worked out just about perfect now, didn't it? Woo! Thought I changed it to, like, I'll let you go at my next stop. Or I have a pickup to make or something like that. I thought I had, but apparently not. And now, one more player punch. And the original game, there were generic NPCs. Here, there's some soldier sprites in among them because these are the Appaloosa fighters. And Granny and Big Mac are with them too. It's broken up like that into two in the original game too, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm a heartless bastard. I know. You think? I think no. And I don't remember if you have to talk to both of them to trigger it, but eventually the scene will... There we go. And we cannot re-enter the Phantom Forest. But what we will do here is save our game. And I'm going to call it quits for this recording session. Next session, we will end Sabin's scenario and maybe possibly do the Siege of Nash. Depends on how long the vault takes me. Don't think it'll take me the whole time though. I'll probably do the siege with it. So once again, thanks for watching this LP of Philly Fantasy 6. And I'll see you next time.